Hi Sagittarius, and welcome to your July 2022 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead of July. I hope you're all doing really well, thriving, and enjoying the change in paradigm that is happening now. We are moving into Cancer season and Leo season by the end of July, and I'm going to be talking to you about the intuitive messages, along with a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading on Patreon, which will be linked below. So, Sages, welcome back. I hope that you are awesome. It's kind of a weird and restrictive yet freeing time for your sign. I mean, I'm seeing Sagittarius is on all ends of the spectrum this month. Some really freeing themselves up, some breaking the shackles. Also, some constricting or contracting themselves out further. There is no right or wrong answer here, but I feel that eventually you need to see for yourself a freer or less concerned state of being, okay? So we're really getting some distance from the 2020 Jupiter and Capricorn time period, and that should really be starting to show now. So if you have patterns, routines, or regimens in your life that are still highly connected to that time period, I would start to distance myself a little bit. To me, the alchemy of this reading, combining all of these archetypes together, the Fool reversed, the Moon reversed, the World upright, it seems that new beginnings keep being delayed, or that the true launching pad or the true main story event is on the back burner. Okay, so for those of you who are gamers, for those of you who play a lot of games in life, whether you like card games, whether you like video games, whether you like gambling, whatever it is, Sagittarius tends to be all about, the games and enjoying fun, right? You would know that sometimes the greater narrative of the game or the greater linearity is sometimes put off or delayed in order to grind or to get stronger, or in order to even prolong the overall chapter or the overall segment. I kind of feel that's where you're at, and I really caught on to this collectively in this new series that I'm doing on Patreon called New Synergy. Check it out, it's on Patreon. I really discovered that collectively a lot of people are delaying their greater storyline, trying to basically grind or do sideshows or side quests in their life. And by the end of this year, or even by now, okay, it's really important to get back onto this main story. So I would say that many Sagittarians have grinded it out, okay? You guys are strong. You guys are on a really powerful foundation. You've got some major 5x multipliers going here. I don't know. There's a lot of that type of lingo coming up for you right now. But basically, I think that you're strong enough to continue at this point. I think you're strong enough also to step into new territories. I don't think anything's going to challenge you that much. I don't think anything's out to get you. I don't think anything is really a big threat to you like it might have been in 2020, when Jupiter was in Capricorn. Basically, I feel that for most Sagittarians, there's this kind of psychological, post-traumatic feeling of I wasn't strong enough to protect my friend from something, or I wasn't strong enough to, keep myself out of danger back then, or I wasn't to other people, in the eyes of other people, viable enough. And this is harsh, Sagittarius. This hurts me also as a Sagittarius person, okay? It really does. I wasn't strong enough to prove my worth to another person back then. My ex didn't see me as a viable person because of my salary, okay? Ideas like that. I was seen as beneath other people because of, the clothing I was wearing. And then I think in 2020 that created for Sagittarius, or maybe even long before then, this well, you know what? I'm going to show people what I'm made of. I'm going to take my salary through the roof. I'm going to make businesses. I'm going to take my education, and I'm going to be the one who's over other people. And then those people are going to realize who I really am and what I'm really made of. To me, that seems like a greater narrative that Sagittarius is going through. It's kind of a semi-ambitious, semi-psycho, I'm kidding, type of narrative. And I do think that you have done it, okay? I think that the grinding is done, and what you have now is kind of the facilitator or the vendor of your greater alchemy. So it's like you have the vehicle now, and where are you going to take it? It's like these last few years have been about creating a vehicle or providing yourself with some type of greater mobility or some type of greater. It's kind of like chariot energy. Even though that card's not in your reading, I feel that your card right now, or the archetype that Sagittarius can learn the most through, is the chariot, and that's also going to be greater for the collective in 2023. Yes, you are more so in the chariot now, and you have the chariot, but you're still, your psychology might have you still trying to like make the chariot, but you like already have it, and it's like now in vain. So you can do like a lot of working in vain now. You can do a lot of unnecessary climbing, a lot of unnecessary generation to like have more money than you ever needed, and it's like it never even gets spent, or you never even needed it, like stuff like that. It can start to get basically like, what's the word? It can get tangential. Okay, it can become unnecessary, you know. Okay, so my next intuitive message for you for July Sag is try to step onto a more creative path. Okay, Page of Wands in the World in the upright, the Fool reversed, and the Seven of Pentacles. This Capricorn energy, this Earth sign tendency, like this very stable and balanced perspective, is that of like a Capricorn, Libra, or Taurus person. It's not really like a Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is more of like, let me put my banner down onto the path that I will stand on, and I will be like a force through that path. Okay. It's not really so detail oriented. It's not really the energy of an accountant. It's not really the energy also of like a gardener or a agriculturalist. Okay, and that's like an energy that I feel you trying to beam or trying to become, is like this super stable sort of earthy person. And of course, if you have a lot of earth in your chart, that would make more sense, but you have to remember also, like whatever you have in Sagittarius, it requires like less of a deliberative space and more of an action and spontaneous type of vibe. So July is a great opportunity to kind of get more into a spontaneous place, and also to trust more in your own essence, and not feel like you also maybe need so many vehicles or so much like money or so much like of this earth plane stuff, because that sometimes just weighs a Sagittarius down. So what if I were to tell you, Sagittarius, that all of this like questing toward some type of material security would only ever end up being like a ball and chain, or some type of greater inhibitor of mobility for you? That's something that I feel is a big awakening point for Sagittarius here. And it's almost better to be like lighter with less for you and have like a more minimalist approach. And this depends on other placements in the chart, but it's good food for thought. Let's talk about your week to week. Week 1, the Three of Swords reversed, rooted down by the Seven of Wands. Okay, so that's like a type of energy. Sometimes Sagittarius tries to hold on too long to certain relationships, or they only see the good in other people, and they like totally bypass or overlook like major red flags or major abuses from other people. And I feel like you wake up to that in the first week, so you might see that somebody was taking way more from you than they were giving back. You can see that things aren't mutually beneficial during this time. You can see harsh contracts, and all of this could be like sad to see, but it's like also going to help you move through the doorway that you need to go through, that you've been needing to go through for a really long time. Also, any type of relationships that you need to detach from, it's good during that time. I see you kind of being like, okay, my heart is kind of broken, and now I also have to like close the door on something that I don't necessarily want to close the door on, but I know that that closing or that blocking off or that turning the other direction becomes such a vital part of my greater narrative, even though having this or being open to this is not necessarily bad in the current moment. So being able to see the bigger picture is imperative here, because for a lot of people, there are things that, aren't that bad on the day-to-day present moment stuff. Like, today it's fine. 10 years from now, it's such a tragedy. Okay, stuff like that is very visible now. Okay, week number 2, Page of Wands, rooted down by the Fool reversed. A call to greater creativity, a call to stop delaying new beginnings, a call to get back on that main path. Okay, you could have artistic success here. You could have even creative business success, or craft success, acting, music, art, seems to me to be a better way to channel it. Okay, so you might be like turning yourself off from stuff like that, or you might be preventing yourself from stuff like that and being like, I'm just following my more earthly or more materialistic path right now, and this is all like not that important. I think it's really important to do the stuff that is activating of your solar plexus. That might even be a doorway into a greater relationship or into a greater romantic cycle as well. Week 3, the world, rooted down by the 7 of Pentacles, beautiful. Okay, so it's also kind of nostalgic energy there. Like, I've been at this for so long, I've been breaking my back for such a long time, and I'm so accustomed to it, and it's now such a big part of my story that I feel sentimental about it. It's so un-Sagittarian. It's like very Cancer Capricorn, which is the dominating axis collectively right now. So it's you might see also just through this, like the fact that Sagittarius is becoming like this might just be like a kind of view or window into the way that people try to like embrace a certain collective scenario or try to like mold their own expressions to like that which is like popular in the media or popular among society. So it's like a big pull away from individuality and a big push towards like molding or creating a palette that someone else already has. So I would move more towards your own individual zest here, Sag, instead of just like being what other people are, like blindly following, that would be really, really apparent. And it would be like how it would be apparent if you're doing that would be like stuff like this, like romanticizing something that's an ugly thing for you, romanticizing a person that took advantage of you, romanticizing, some type of like a really scary, like neo-feudal experience. Okay, like that is very emblematic for Sagittarius right now, and it needs to end, and I feel that you need to be more so on your own light, mobile path. Okay, week 4, 8 of Cups rooted down by the moon reversed. Walking away from illusions. Okay, so delusionality ends in the 4th week, really through your own turning away, and it's like your choice, right? Like you're the one choosing with the 8 of Cups. It's like not going to be taken from you. So like these sort of unfortunate delusions, like how much I learned through 8 years of unfair labor practice on myself, like how much I learned through like self-employment, like, and had I employed someone else like that, I might have been like, charged with like some sort of like terrible labor infringement, but because it was like self-employment, like I can get away with it, like overworking myself, working 100 hours a week, I couldn't legally do that to another person, but like I can do it to myself, and it's like romantic, and I've like built myself from the ground up, but like I've also destroyed my health and destroyed everything that I ever had as a claim before, and it's like romantic though. Like that is, I feel, what Sagittarius has to get away from now. It's kind of like Jupiter Neptune, which was a transit that Sagittarius had for such a long time, the whole world had for such a long time, and now we're walking away from that, and I see us like really getting more into our bodies, so like really focusing more on like getting your core strong and getting yourself light and mobile and movable, and walking away from these illusory, crazy romances with the unkind or the over laborious or the unrealistic. Okay, how fun it might also be to have like a party of people, or to have like a greater group or a greater network of friends moving in a similar way, and to kind of like maybe have more fun experiences. So let's talk more about that in your extended Sagittarius. I think this is a wonderful time of awakening for you. A little bit harsh, but like all of your readings this year have been awesome. I think that this is just a necessary little discussion here about like some of the negatives, and many Sagittarius have already overcome this. But yeah, let's talk more about overcoming it in your extended, and I'll talk also more about like the healthier versions of this and the healthier way to work with like this ending energy of the world. So, and to allow the Fool and the new beginnings to come in. So check that out. It'll be linked below in this interview screen. Much love, Sagittarius. Have a great month. Bye.